Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. You can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to listen. So we're going to get 3 cards today. This is just an overall energy of the topic that we are going to be looking into today. It is entitled False Advertising. Why energy vampires seek to devalue you. They seek to. There is a passage in the Bible that says, the devil goes around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. 1, 2, well, that's flipping over. See, it's like, this is like a high-speed chase. I'm seeing that in my head. I'm seeing like this is a car, and I'm seeing like these are the cops. Like I'm seeing a high-speed chase. Like as a news story when these cards popped out. It's like someone is being chased, and that's why they seek people to devour, because whether it's conscious or subconscious, they're running. They're runners. They're running from their debts. These people, these energy vampires, that's why they are vampiric, number 1. Because they need sustenance. They owe, if you want to look at it in terms of karma. Now, if we're talking psychologically, I'm not a doctor, right? And I can't diagnose anybody, right? So let's put these back in. I feel like that's part of the message. With the High Priestess, of course, always at the bottom of the deck, because that's who this message is for. It's for High Priestesses and High Priests, and y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, let me give this one more shuffle because I don't like what happened there. Then we're gonna bring in a guest. Dream guest on my podcast? Spice things up. Bring on one of my exes. Well, it's not one of my exes, but it might as well be. Because this person reminds me of my exes. This person reminds me of my father. This person reminds me of the narcissistic people that have sought to devalue me. 2 and 3. And we're back. See, now we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, because what these people don't want you to know, and this is why they devalue you, what they don't want you to know is that you're actually worth a fortune. They don't want you to understand that. It's much easier to steal from you if you think you're not worth anything, if you think your energy's pointless. I had a comment from a lady right before I started filming this, and she's like, can you just get to the point? Now, imagine if people like Joe Rogan, and this is not my opinion on Joe Rogan, imagine if people like Joe Rogan just got to the point. His podcast is 3 hours long. I'm not saying I'm Joe Rogan, but he and I both share a Mercury and Leo. All right, anyways. And also the High Priestess is underneath. See, this is you. This is us. Little energy sapien on in the background. Now let's get to, this is my guest, all right? And we're gonna block out the name. Okay, but this is our guest. And this is what actually gave me the topic for today's episode. So I thank my enemies. I thank them in my acceptance speech, and so should you. Because it's because of these people, and I'm going to get to the comment. This is my guest. I'm just being a facetious asshole, guys. This is my guest is a comment, and it actually made me think of a few things, all right? This is what they said. Your readings would be so much better if you didn't talk about yourself so much. People come to your readings to hear about themselves, not to hear about you. Now, every single time, think about how you felt when somebody that you loved, whether they were narcissistic or not, think about when you're in an argument with your ex, or an argument with your current person, love and light, or a family member, or any energy vampire that you've talked to. Put yourself in that seat for a moment and let this be a message, this person's words. Because I sat with this person's words and I thought about all the times I felt like I was worth nothing in front of these people who convinced me of that. But this is the message. Ace of Wands, High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune. People don't steal from somebody that's worth nothing. They steal from the treasure chest. And the best trick the devil has ever played is to convince you that you're worth nothing, so that when they come and steal from you, what do you even have? What do you even have to argue with? What do you even have to I'm just going to sit for a minute because this is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is what we have gone through is it's beyond words. And you know, this is what these people do. They drain you dry to where they drain you to the point where you have no blood left and you're just sitting there and you're just staring at the wall. Just empty. You don't even have the energy to cry. You just sit there. Because they took everything and convinced you it was worth nothing. You mean well, but less talk about yourself during your readings, please, because it's false advertising. Thank you for the title. Thank you for the title. Everyone, let's give a round of applause for this person giving me the title of my work today. I give credit where credit's due. Light, dark, everything in between. Because a true high priestess and a true high priest understands that the world is just a reflection back to us of more colors that we can use to paint our picture. We can use all the colors of the rainbow to paint our picture, to paint our lives. There's nothing false about you, and that's the problem. Less talk about yourself during your readings, please. Whose readings are they? Oh, that's right. They're my readings. And I'm just being totally honest, guys. I don't actually care about this comment. I've gotten so many wonderful comments. I've gotten hundreds of comments that have just shown me that I'm going the right direction. Let's just say it like that. Because I've been working on this particular show for about 2 years, and that's why I'm wearing this particular shirt today. Because it's from one of the original versions of my show. And You know, I was told all my life to stop talking. It took me many years and a bout of globus sensation to the point that I couldn't eat anything but soup for months and months and months to understand how powerful our voice really is. Why do I talk about myself so much in these readings? Because I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about us. And if you are your authentic self, you will attract others of you. You will attract other pieces of ourselves. That is my belief. You don't have to subscribe to that. You don't have to like the way I do my readings. You don't have to like that I talk about myself. Because let me just be real with you. These are not really readings. These are topics, and we're using divination to pull out more information from our guides to show us how to handle this stuff. And I'm combining my many years of expertise. I'm not a doctor. Let's just let that sit. For all the people in the house that want to just devalue and devalue and devalue and devalue and devalue. Why do they seek to devalue you? Us. I'm always talking about us. When I talk about me, I'm talking about us. I'm never talking about me. Never once have I talked about me. I've talked about us. Because it's false advertising. If you're going to do a reading centered around yourself, then title it that. Don't trick us into thinking the reading is about us and we click on the video and it's 55 minutes about you. Let's give a round of applause, everybody, for my guest today. Thank you so much. And I really mean this. I'm not being facetious. I truly mean this. Thank you so much for proving in real time what this stuff looks like, what it feels like. Because I've done such an extensive job at cleansing these sorts of energies out of my life. Like, I have had strong, no contact boundaries with energy vampires in my life. So it was actually very, very good for me to get hit in the chest again so that I could deliver this message out of a place of my heart as opposed to the intellect, because I had to sit with that for a few minutes. Not because the words, I don't even know this person, but what it does, what these people do, is it triggers us to past memories from when we were younger, from all the times that we just felt like we were worth absolutely nothing. Also, another person asked me if this was a pick a card. No, this is not a pick a card. So basically what we're doing here, for people that are actually asking, not people that are just trying to like devalue me and say I'm talking about myself. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the reality. This is how I do readings. I'm a teacher. I teach through practical real world experience. I don't just talk out of my ass about nothing. These are all things that I have dealt with. Trigger warning. Let's bring out TW. It's not an episode of the Metamystic Show without TW, the trigger warning clown. Honk honk. I self-harmed for 17 years. Because of things like that were just said there. Now, why do people not want you to talk anymore? Why do people want you to begin to believe that you are false? Why? Why do they care? Why do they care so much? This person's just an example of the hundreds and hundreds of people that each and every one of us have dealt with, to the point where, and you know the feeling, where you're so tired. You've been through so much. You've been so, for some of us, trigger warning, you've been so abused that now you're just to the point where you're just sitting there It's like all the blood is drained out of your body and you're just staring at the wall. You just don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to try to be positive anymore. You don't want to try to explain yourself. You just want to sit there and just feel like what they made you feel. Just sit in the devaluation where, okay, I'm not a human being. That's what my album Dehumanized is all about. They make you feel like you're not a human being. They take away your humanity. They take away who you are. And then they say, you're false. This is false advertising. You're not who you say you are. There are so many people, and somebody I really, really cared about specifically, that told me every single thing, the opposite. They told me the opposite of everything I stood for. They told me that I was a terrible person this was back when I was a Christian minister. They told me I was a terrible person and I didn't care about people. And they just went on and on and on and on about how I was a false advertisement, that I was the opposite of everything that I claimed to be. And I don't really claim to be anything, if I'm honest with you. I live by example, and if people want to say what they want to say, let them say it. You know what I'm saying? Card number 1 is the 3 of Wands. There's always hope on the horizon, all right? That's this message. Why do energy vampires seek to devalue you? It's because they know that no matter how hard they try, they will never take away your hope. And they can't stand that. Because no matter how much they seek to devalue you, you will always find that silver lining. You will look over that horizon and you will paint a picture of the setting sun. You will write an album like I did called Dehumanized instead of unaliving myself like I planned. Honk honk. Instead of unaliving myself like I planned, I transmuted that shit year after year after year and turned it into music, turned it into art, turned it into poetry, turned it into the Metamystic channel, turned it into the Metamystic show, right? They hate you because they ain't you, because no matter how hard they try, they will always be false. And no matter how hard you try to just stare at that wall and just let their definition of you become the truth, as much as you want to just give up and just let that be true. Okay, I'm a piece of shit, I'm worth nothing, I have no value, I have no talents, I'm a terrible human being, everything that I say is terrible, everything I do is terrible, I'm never gonna be good enough, I'm not hot enough, I'm not fun enough, I don't give you enough love, I don't make things right for you the way that you want them made. It's like you sometimes you just want to sink into that and just be like, fine, just fine, I surrender. I am false advertising. I am a worthless POS. I have nothing to offer, I have no talents, and I'm worth nothing. Fine. But this is why they seek to devalue you. Because as much as you want to just give up and just basically just slip into death, as much as you want to do that, the sun always rises in the morning. And you're there to see it. And every time you look at that sun, you think, God, there is hope. There's always hope. And I'm grateful for my life. And even though I've been through a lot of shit, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for the good things in my life. And I'm grateful for the good people. And I'm grateful for the sun, even if that's the only thing that I can look at that holds anything true. And you watch that sunrise or you watch that sunset. And you move forward. And you regenerate. You are the exact opposite of false. You are everything in this world that is truly authentic. Card number 2 is the King of Wands. This is the wand that the king holds. And the King of Wands is the one who takes that wand, who takes that inspiration, that takes that beautiful sunset, that photograph that could win an award, that painting that could be hung in a museum, that song that could win a Grammy. The King of Wands is the one that takes that and puts it into the real world and makes it something and stands on that stage and receives their award, right? The King of Wands is the one who holds the inspiration, and that's you, irrespective of gender. You are this King of Wands. You are confident, you are bold, you are creative, you are strong. When somebody punches you in the face and you fall to the ground, you stand up again. And you keep going. And that is why they seek to devalue you. Because remember, and don't forget this is how they see you. You might feel like you don't have much, because they've taken so much from you and you're just staring at that wall and you feel gaunt. You feel like your skin is just turned translucent and you just have nothing left. And even in that state, this is still how they see you. Never forget that. People only seek to devalue what holds value. People only seek to tell somebody who's authentic and who's living out of their heart space that they're false because it strikes a chord in them. This is your wand. You are the inspiration. You are the motivation. You're the one who created this perspective, the Three of Wands, that there's always hope. There's always opportunity for growth. There's always a silver lining. No matter how many bad things happen to me, I can learn from it. I can grow from it. I can use it to help people. I can make my way in the world. Even if I'm the only person I can rely on, I will go where I need to go, and I'll say what I need to say, and I'll learn what I need to learn, because that is my purpose, to understand what my specific little piece of life means to me in my own perspective. That's that King of Wands. That's why he's so confident, because he lives by example. He's wands. You know, he's somebody who has stories to tell. And he's genuine. And the high vibration of the King of Wands is a leader. The King of Wands is somebody that people trust. A kind, loving leader that has proof. They're not just a talker, they're a doer, they're a liver. King of Wands takes that inspirational, motivational moment that you feel when you look over that sunset or that sunrise. He takes that. It's like catching a firefly in a bottle. It's like a bug in amber. He captures it and he turns it into something in the real world. And that is why people seek to devalue you, because they can see that you are a living example and they can see your creation, your manifestation in the 3D world. If it was not in the 3D world, there would be nothing to pick at. There would be nothing to devalue. But since you are a King of Wands, that's why they're able to get to you. Because if it can't be seen, they can't get to it, right? So by default, you are the thing that they're saying you're not. See? Because if you weren't, there'd be nothing to talk about. Card number 3 is the Hierophant. See, that's what I was saying. And the Hierophant has come through in pretty much every single one of my readings as of late. The Hierophant is a teacher. And with the King of Wands, this is an energy of, this is like a Tony Robbins energy, and it's something about Tony Robbins. Let's use Joe Rogan, because I made the joke about that him and I both have a Mercury and Leo. This is kind of like Mercury and Leo energy here, where it's like, this is somebody that's not just like a showman, but they also have this heart of a teacher. This is kind of like, imagine the King of Wands. It's like those beautiful pictures of Jesus. And if you don't believe in Jesus, that's fine. It's the sentiment, right? It's like those beautiful pictures of Jesus where he's sitting there and all the children and the animals are around him and they're all just looking up at him. I have this deck. I think it's like the Steampunk Tarot or something. And I love the Hierophant in that deck because it's that image. It's an older man sitting there and there's like young kids learning from him. That's what I'm getting off of this. See, you not only just have hope, you're somebody that takes that hope and tells about it. It's like those people that go around to prisons and, you know, tell their story to the inmates, or, you know, they go to these events. You know, there was one in my town of all of the survivors of people where they lost a sibling or a mother or a partner to drugs. I lost my brother Mitch to drugs. And it's like, it's the equivalent of going around to those events and speaking inspirational words of hope to people who have also lost someone. Hierophant, King of Wands, is a teacher that teaches by example, that teaches by their life lived. And you know, I think I'll leave that there for today. Because I've been at this, whatever this is, whatever this show is, I've been at this since I was like 14 years old. I remember sitting in my dad's lazy boy chair in his bedroom and praying to God and asking God how I was going to express my purpose in the world. And that's why I became a minister first and foremost, is because I wanted to help people. But when I had my spiritual awakening, I understood it wasn't about indoctrinating people into a religion so that they wouldn't burn in hell. It was about taking the things that I had learned along the way and simply just being a living example, and just let my life speak for itself, let my story speak for itself. So what that person sought to do by saying that, and that's one of hundreds of comments I've received, right, guys? And that's one of thousands of amazing comments that I've received. So really, to me, it's like this. even if I got one person that was like, wow, that message actually really like struck a chord, that helps me like process through my own shit. Even if there were one person that thought that, I would get up and I would do what I'm doing here still, right? But the irony is that the things that people like this person, there's so many of them, right? But the irony of it is that they are saying the thing that stops you. Like, and it's different for all of us what that thing is. What that person said is the very thing that stopped me all of these years. I'm a writer, and I'm meant to tell my story. So this is my purpose, what I'm doing here. So it's always fascinating. And that brings me back to my original point with this high priestess energy, is that, and like learning to paint with all the colors of the rainbow, and using the quote unquote light and dark to our advantage. Because that comment coming in, ironically enough, proved to me that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. And let that be the same for you, that when people come out of the woodwork and say things that are uncalled for, just dip your paintbrush into their remark and add it to the painting and say, oh, thank you so much. You actually put into words from an outside perspective something for me about myself, because it's all just the mirror, right? Hi, there I am. Hello, everyone. It's Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. Thank you to all of these people that seek to devalue us and seek to criticize and seek to put you down. And actually, to me, it's more this false advertising to say that you're not who you really are. They do this because they know how bad it's going to hurt, because they know how true you're living to yourself. They know how authentic you are. That's why they hate it, because they're living in a mask. The irony is that they are saying that I'm only talking about myself, when in reality, they're only talking about themselves. It's just a mirror. They're saying we're here to learn about ourselves, not to hear about you. So in turn, they're actually talking about themselves, proving that they only care about themselves. Now, why am I here? Maybe that's the real question that this brings up. Why am I here? I'm here for us. From 14 years of age to 33 years of age that I sit in today. I'm here for us. Simple as that. No ulterior motives. I'm here to share a thing or two, and I'm using cards to do it because I like this community. I could go to any other community and do this. I could go to the business world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do this. I could just be a speaker. I could be a writer. I could be a blogger. I could only express. I have all my instruments hanging up behind you. I have my piano over there, my guitar, my ukulele, my mandolin, my other guitar. I could do it through music. I could do it through painting. I could do it through products that I've created. But I'm choosing to do it in this community with these cards, first of all, because that's what Spirit showed me to do. And that's really why I'm here, because that's what Spirit showed me to do. But number two, why am I doing this? I like it. I like this community. Better than the church, better than the Christian church for me. You know, they told me that I was going to burn in hell for this little rainbow scarf here. So I like this community. It's more open. You know, I like the way that it is here. You know, I like our crystals. I like our woo-woo stuff. I like our group. I like that a lot of us have been through really hard things, and the way that we view the world is very beautiful, because a lot of us are very inclusive in the way that we hold our belief systems. A lot of us don't see light and dark like religions do. We see both, and we understand both. So that's why I'm here, because I like it. I could use my gift any other place, but I like it here, and that's where Spirit showed me to go. And I'm actually very honored to be here as well. And some of the comments that I have received from you guys over the past like 4 videos specifically have just been, have put the nail in the coffin for me. Meaning, it showed me, it was a torch to me, you're going the right way. Because I've been at this show for a while. I've been trying all different ways on how to get my message across and how to speak it and stuff. And no, this is not a traditional tarot reading. And there are plenty of tarot readers that won't say one word about themselves. Right? I mean, Chris Reck, Minopon Tarot, many readings, he's like, oh, I'm not going to talk about myself. See, I'm somebody that believes in talking about yourself, because in talking about yourself, you're talking about us. That's how I see the world. Right? So people have their methods, and that's fine, and everybody has their own way. Again, there is no one way to do something. There is no one way to say something. There is no one way to build something. There is no one way to envision something. My opinion. Right? So if people don't like the way that I do readings, that is totally fine with me, because in reality, I'm actually from another country. I just like the cards, but I don't need them. I'm using them as a sign, as a spiritual sign for your eyes. Because when these cards come out and just confirm the words that I'm saying, I'm using this as like a magic trick, as a sign to people, so that people can be like, oh my God, what she's saying is real because the cards are confirming what she's saying. That's why I use cards, and just because I like them. But I'm here to talk about topics, and then we read on the topics. At least what I'm doing right now, that's what this is. It's not really a pick a card. It's not really, technically, you know, it's not really a regular tarot reading. This topic was brought to me by this person, and again, thank you, because I didn't know what I was going to read on today, so we ended up reading on false advertising, why energy vampires seek to devalue you. And I believe in using every single thing that comes our way and transmute it and use it to our advantage and our benefit and for the benefit of all. And I believe that by talking about ourselves, that's where we connect in the astral, because it's not about words, right? It's very low level to use words. You know, the ETs, they look at us like we're so slow, you know, using all these words and everything where they can just thought transmit. I'm a Mercury stellium, right? I'm a Virgo sun, I'm a Virgo rising, I'm a Virgo Mars, and I'm a Gemini midheaven. Got a lot of Mercury going on here. I love words. I'm a writer, right? But for me, it's not about words. It's about the frequency of the words and my heart coming through the words and the light codes coming through the words and my guides that are present here and the lights flickering because we have the archangels present and the channeling through me. That's not really me talking. It's what we need to hear because I'm just part of the audience. I'm almost looking at myself as I'm talking from the audience. And any channeler would agree with what I'm saying here and relate to that. So, thank you to everybody who is here just because they want to be. You know, I'm here because I want to be. And the comments that I receive, good or bad, to me, are just paint in which I can dip my paintbrush in to add detail to the painting that is my own story. So thank you, everybody. Much love to all. Remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you'd like to get a personal from me, info is down below. And until next time, everybody, you take care.